Boom. The next team we're going to talk about is my team. We've got Dak Prescott, James Cook, Chase Brown, Devontae Adams, Michael Wilson, Juwan Jennings, Tyler Warren, Ashton Genty, Blake Corum, Myles Garrett, Dicker the kicker, Patriots defense. I've also got Baker Mayfield on my bench. I've got Malik Davis, Trey Tucker, Isaac Tesla, Keenan Allen, Jalen Naylor, Kayshawn Boutte, Greg Dulcich, Brenton Strange, and the Jags defense. Okay. This team, it got off to a slow start. Let me tell you a quick story right here. Last year, I was in such a bad place with my two dynasty teams that I asked my two co-commissioners, JR and JP, to take over management of my team because I was getting my ass handed to me so badly in both leagues that I don't think I won more than 2 games across 2 leagues. It was rough, but I dug deep and we got hot. We made some trades. We got AJ Brown out of here. We lost James Cook and we bounced back. James Cook was outstanding in 2025. 1,600 rushing yards, 12 rushing touchdowns, 5.2 yards per carry. He added another layer as a receiver and established himself as one of the safest high-end dynasty running backs on the roster and in all of fantasy football. For this team, he is the reliable veteran centerpiece of the backfield. Ashton Genty. Genty's rookie season was a mixed bag. Ask me how I know. The volume was enormous. He got everything. But it was tempered by a bad O-line and poor quarterback play. Let's just call it what it was. 266 carries, 975 rushing yards, 55 receptions, 346 receiving yards, 10 total touchdowns. The ugliest number right here is the 3.7 yards per carry. But the receiving work is extremely encouraging, especially in full PPR, and when you consider that they actually have a pretty weak wide receiver room. They added Jalen Naylor, and they've still got Trey Tucker. And, of course, they've added Mendoza and Kirk Cousins. So I'm expecting Ashton Genty to break out for real this year. Chase Brown. Chase Brown quietly became a major PPR weapon. In 2005, his line was over 1,000 yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, 69 receptions. Hey, yo, we need a drop for that, 69.
If you guys are really us, what number are we thinking of? 69, dudes!
69 receptions, 437 receiving yards, 5 receiving touchdowns. That's 1,456 scrimmage yards and 11 touchdowns, with 69 catches doing major work in PPR leagues across the world.
He's got the pitch. He's got the edge. Brown to the 30-yard line. Gain.
First down and goal for the Bengals on the 14th play of the drive. It's Brown trying to find daylight. Burrows ahead, still goes, and finds the end zone. What a statement of a drive for Cincy to start.
Here's the ridiculous part. This roster can potentially start Cook, Brown, and Ashton Genty. That's an elite running back trio. Tyler Warren. This trade may end up being the move that changed the future of this franchise. In Warren's rookie season, he had 76 catches, 817 yards, 4 receiving touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Pause right there. Daniel Jones got hurt. Alec Pierce got hurt. Where are all these targets going? We're not expecting to see Alec Pierce back at the beginning of the season. So right now, the pass catchers on the Colts are, or the notable pass catchers on the Colts are Josh Downs and Tyler Warren. Add that to a team that already went on a championship run. This trade looks better and it feels better every single day, even with AJ Brown going to a better situation. Devontae Adams. This is where the roster gets a little bit weird. Adams only caught 60 passes for 789 yards in 14 games, but he scored 14 touchdowns. He clearly remained one of Matthew Stafford's preferred scoring options, even with Puka Nacua there and healthy. But dynasty managers need to understand what they're holding when you have Davante Adams. Here's the good part about this roster. They won a championship, and it didn't look dominant for the whole season. This team was 8-6, but that's encouraging. Good moves by management, even after James Conner going down and an underperforming start and underperformances by AJ Brown. Roster changes and young players developing. The point is, it caught fire when it mattered. The running backs are now potentially the biggest strength of this team. James Cook, Chase Brown, Ashton Jeanty, Blake Corum. That's disgusting in PPR. Cook gives you stability, Brown gives you reception, Jeanty gives you youth and upside, and Corum gives you valuable contingent depth behind a Rams backfield. Don't look now, but Dak Prescott quietly had an excellent season. I have Dak Prescott on 2 winning Dynasty teams. Check him here. Dak Prescott threw for 4,552 yards and 30 touchdowns while completing 67.3% of his passes. In a one-quarterback league, you don't necessarily need an elite rushing quarterback when your starter is throwing for 4,500 plus yards. Plus, we've got Baker Mayfield on the bench behind him. That's comfortable. That's actually very comfortable quarterback depth. The bad, the wide receiver room scares me considerably more than the running backs. We've got Davante Adams, Michael Wilson, Juwan Jennings, Isaac Tesla, Keenan Allen, Jalen Nailor, Kayshon Boutte, Trey Tucker. There's useful talent here, but who's the unquestioned long-term wide receiver one? Davante can still produce, but he's an aging asset. Keenan Allen is even further along that curve, and he may have been dropped already by the time this video comes out. Michael Wilson, Jennings, Boutte, Tesla, and Nailor can help, but none of them should be treated as the foundational wide receiver one. So while this roster won in 2025, we have to recognize that it has a championship caliber running back room and a middle of the pack wide receiver dynasty room. This is where I need to attack in the rookie draft, and look for me to go ahead and do that through trades and through the rookie draft. The ugly part, this roster could age quickly. Davante Adams and Keenan Allen are both veterans whose fantasy value could decline much faster than their name recognition. The other issue, the championship run may have masked the AJ Brown problem instead of eliminating the need at wide receiver. Trading Brown for Warren makes sense if Warren becomes a cornerstone tight end, but I still traded away a potentially elite wide receiver. There's no denying that. So the trade may have solved tight end while creating a long-term wide receiver vacancy. It doesn't mean the trade was bad. It just means that my next move matters. If Warren becomes an elite tight end and we use the 2026 draft to add our next young wide receiver one, then the sequence looks brilliant. If the wide receiver room ages out and no young star emerges, I might look back and say, we fixed one position and created a problem somewhere else.